Ela tá mais pra modelo, pra Barbie do que pra lutadora.
In 2024, a cocky UFC title challenger made the mistake of laughing off Dakota Ditcheva and then got flatlined in 2 rounds. That night, Dakota hit 14-0 and looked unstoppable. She was now the PFL's flyweight queen. But just when the world thought she was untouchable, the game flipped. Because in her very next fight, she ran into Sumiko Inaba, who tested the prospect to her limit. And the high of Dakota's legacy-making win over Taila Santos quickly took a dark turn. How did it unfold? Let's break it all down. In 2024, Dakota Ditcheva entered the PFL tournament as an 11-0 prospect, and she lived up to her hype with back-to-back wins against Chelsea Hackett and Gina Bishop to qualify for the final. In the finale, standing across from Dakota Ditcheva was Taila Santos, the Brazilian powerhouse who once nearly dethroned Valentina Shevchenko in the UFC. This was supposed to be the biggest test of Dakota's career and a gritty, grinding war that would push her to the limit. Instead, it was a masterclass. From the opening bell, Dakota Ditcheva came out looking calm, sharp, and dangerous.
Sufficient. Almost twice as many of herself. 20 pro outings for Santos.
While Santos, tough as ever, looked like she was preparing to drag this into deep waters.
He tries to take down the bar.
Dakota had other plans as she started picking Santos apart with her slick, fluid, and borderline frustrating skills on the feet and on the mat.
With these double underhooks to get Dakota to larger women and American top team. Santos is fighting on that jab feint. She needs to be...
Dakota wasn't just avoiding danger. She was setting traps of her own while making it all look effortless.
Nice job. And again, she's got Santos fighting on that really well. Twice. Oh.
Dakota's jab snapped out like a whip and landed with sniper precision. Santos kept trying to find her rhythm, but Ditcheva was already in control as she glided just outside of range and punished every mistake.
I love the fact that every time Dakota immediately straight away with the elbow there, Andy, yes.
Whenever Taila tried to close the distance, Dakota answered with lightning-fast kicks, stinging the legs, tagging the body, and mixing things up just enough to keep Santos guessing. You could see it in the Brazilian's body language. She wanted the takedown and needed it badly. But every time she shot in, she got greeted with a counter punch to the jaw or a knee to the gut. Ditcheva made her pay for every attempt, and Santos began second-guessing whether she even wanted to try anymore. Round 2 is when things got really ugly with Dakota displaying god-tier technical brutality. Dakota had already warmed up by then.
Jab to the body. My God.
She started finding bigger shots, harder angles, and combinations that looked like they were downloaded straight from a Tekken character's move list.
3 combinations. She's biting on that twin. Fight short in the world this Black Friday.
Every exchange ended with Dakota landing last, landing clean, and walking away untouched.
Take down official range.
Taila Santos tried to stand her ground, as she's not the kind of fighter to fold, and she wasn't going down easy. But you could see it that each shot made her question her resolve. It wasn't just the physical damage, though that was adding up too. It was the feeling of being one step behind every second. The kind of psychological exhaustion that drains even the most experienced warriors. At one point, Santos tried to just bite down and swing, but Dakota continued to pick her apart, punished her again, and made her pay for daring to trade. The final minute saw Santos clearly fading, and Dakota knew it. You could see her turning it up with fast hands, crisp kicks, and absolute control.
Both stances. Oh, that's the
By the end of round 2, Santos had had enough. The volume, the damage, and the mental checkmate was all too much, and she had no option but to bail out.
She sneaks out of the sidelines.
And just like that, Dakota Ditcheva didn't just beat a UFC title challenger, she dominated her.
Head position, Dakota knows.
Dakota's next fight came against 8-1 Sumiko Inaba at PFL Champions Series 2, where the British-Bulgarian showed a new and more scary side of her, overcoming adversity that would have folded many. Sumiko Inaba, or Lady Samurai, wasn't just stepping into the cage to fight. She was stepping in to make a statement. A proud Hawaiian warrior with a reputation for grit, heart, and aggression, Inaba came out in round 1 like she'd just heard someone insult her grandma. She wasn't waiting, neither measuring.
Side kickboxing match. You can't trade a body shot for a knee in this position.
Inaba charged right at Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated British phenom with movie star looks and an absolutely savage Muay Thai game. For a moment, it looked like we might get a war. The fiery exchanges continued as the two women tied up, tangled, and then Ditcheva smartly backed out, returning to the range where she thrived. Dakota soon started showcasing her clean footwork, sniper shots, and surgical control. And right away, you could see she was getting comfortable in the cage. Inaba wasn't all that comfortable. But she was still pushing forward like a storm, but the counters were already leaving a mark. Thanks to Dakota's vicious strikes, Inaba's eye began to swell before we even hit the halfway mark of the first round. That kind of close-range brutality that makes you wince even if you're watching through a screen. Dakota would land a knee, break the clinch, and then land one more shot for the road. By the end of round 1, it was clear that Dakota Ditcheva was cooking a meal spicier than what Inaba could handle. Inaba had heart and lots of it, but she was already wearing the damage, and Ditcheva looked like she was just getting warmed up. Round 2 was all Dakota as she beat Inaba from pillar to post. Ditcheva came out like a tax collector, and Inaba had no receipts to show. Dakota stalked Inaba, cornered her against the cage, and let loose elbows, punches, combinations that weren't flashy but viciously efficient. Inaba got tagged with a left hand, then a knee, then a few more punches for good measure. Her face was starting to look like a weather map during stormy days as she was red, swollen, and full of trouble. To Inaba's credit, she kept trying to fire back when many in her place would have bailed out. She even found some success in the clinch, but that was brief, as Dakota reversed her like it was nothing, turned the position around, and resumed the systematic dismantling. It was a striking clinic from the best female striker in the world. At this point, the story wasn't about who was winning, it was about whether Inaba could survive.
She has to hit Sumiko with power on even the clinch.
And to her credit, she kept walking forward like a true Hawaiian warrior, even as Ditcheva turned her into a walking highlight reel.
For now in the southpaw stance. Back to orthodox.
It was starting to feel like Inaba was punching her way through a hurricane with a wet noodle. Round 3 was the last hope for Inaba, as she needed a finish or a miracle.
In the paint, round 3.
something that could change the tide in the Hawaiian fighter's favor.
Nice leg kick spinning.
And when you give it elbow, he goes straight up.
But Ditcheva wasn't going to go down that easily.
Inaba bringing physical pressure.
Successfully, that's the only thing that's
Dakota's kicks were doing a ton of damage as they were thudding and soul-sapping.
kicks, that right hand.
But her punches were equally potent.
Those have all been from the Ditcheva has just landed the strong knee.
By now, Inaba looked like a training dummy at a Muay Thai gym, standing tall and swinging when she could, but taking everything and more.
Stifled her offense a little bit.
Midway through the third, Dakota started shaking out her left hand, which appeared damaged, but it didn't really matter because the rest of her toolbox was still fully loaded.
Straight down the middle, then to the body.
In the dying moments of the fight, Ditcheva sprawled like a panther, then launched a spinning kick to the body.
150 of 100.
By the final minute, the cage was basically a one-woman Dakota showcase.
Grabs one more clinch. Big knee to the.
She has nothing for
Inaba refused to go down, and credit to her toughness as she's got enough heart for 3 fighters. But the writing had been on the wall since the first round. Dakota Ditcheva had just painted a masterpiece with elbows and kicks, and Inaba was the canvas. When the final horn sounded, there was no suspense. The judges could have handed in their scorecards from halfway through round 2. It was a dominant, one-sided, highlight-filled, unanimous decision for Dakota Ditcheva. And if you didn't know her name before this fight, you do now. As for Inaba, she didn't win, but she proved something else, that you can't teach grit. You either have it or you don't. Inaba ate shots that would have dropped lesser fighters, yet she kept trying until the final bell. And she did it all while looking like someone had tried to paint her portrait with a sledgehammer. But in the end, this was Dakota's night. And if there's one takeaway from this fight, it's this. Don't step into Dakota Ditcheva's range unless you like pain. A lot of it. So there it is. Another dominant performance from Dakota Ditcheva. Even with what looked like an injured hand, she didn't flinch. She adjusted, kept the pressure, and picked Sumiko Inaba apart like a cold-blooded technician. Inaba came in swinging, but Dakota reminded everyone why she's not just undefeated, she's on another level. If she's doing this with one hand, imagine what she'll do when she's fully healthy. If anyone out there still thinks she's hype, they might want to watch that tape again, because Dakota Ditcheva is looking less like a rising prospect and more like a future world destroyer. Is Dakota Ditcheva inching closer to UFC glory? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.